keep me organized, but so here it goes. Good morning to all Life University athletic staff and coaches. I consider it an honor and a privilege to speak here with you all today. Thank you to Mrs. Pendergast and Coach O for asking me to share my experience here at Life University over the past 4 years. For starters, let me share with you a little bit about me. I came from a small town in Michigan called DeWitt. I grew up in the church and knowing the Lord. I had worked hard for everything I had achieved in both my academics and athletics, as life is itself. I was fortunate to have parents who poured into me to get me to where I needed to be. Amidst 8th grade, I've been diagnosed with scoliosis. After years of back pain and numbness and tingling, which ignited my interest in chiropractic, seeing that it helped me to function and feel better. It wasn't until my junior year of high school that the time came for me to start looking for schools. I knew I didn't want to be like the other kids at my school who went to a local college and followed in their parents' footprints. I wanted something more. On the other hand, I was daunted by the fact that if I did move to a college far away, I wouldn't be with my family nor my girlfriend. However, I didn't allow that thought to ruin the idea of doing something great because I knew God had a plan for me. I was looking for somewhere to get me out of my comfort zone. A new environment, new community, new people, a new place of fellowship, etc. I hadn't even known life existed until a fellow wrestler had told me about it. Long story short, I ended up committing to wrestle here back in 2019 with the end game of getting the doctorate of chiropractic with being an All-American in wrestling. The thought of committing made me ecstatic. I would get to achieve some big goals, but I'd be far away from home. If you know me, I am a family-oriented guy, and leaving home was one of the hardest things for me to do. So with that in mind, you might ask, what was your experience like? In 2 words, I would sum it up as a roller coaster. There were many times where I'd rather be back home in Michigan with my family or my girlfriend than to stay up late studying at night, or even coming back from Christmas break prematurely to have to do 2-a-day practices in preparation for tournaments. But what it was that helped me to endure through the thick and thin? 2 things, family and community. My team and my coaches helped to push me mentally to overcome those hurdles. Not only that, but also my faith in Jesus Christ. My faith is what led me to the current church in which I attend today. I found fellowship with other believers that edified me and kept my roots firm in the Word of God. One thing I must say is that I came to life with such a young and weak mindset. I give thanks to Coach O because he was able to callous my mind when things got tough, so I was able to be an overcomer. One moment in particular was my freshman year after a grueling practice. I remember Coach O asking if I was tired. I told him yes. I must say he jumped right on my case, and from that day on, I never wanted to show him nor anyone else I was tired. That was one great learning opportunity for me to grow from, much like many others I learned here. Not only coach, but I also had teammates to confide in about my goals and my passions. Some of you, if not all, are familiar with our sympathetic nervous system, also known as our fight or flight response. The fight is what I also like to refer as lucha. When you flee a situation, you miss out on the opportunity to experience something you never had before and miss out on learning what was or wasn't good and how you dealt with that particular situation. When I fought, I learned, and it molded me into the man I am today. God has blessed me with many incredible people here at Life. Coming here the first 2 years or so, I was an introvert. My eyes were focused on those goals I had, although many of you would probably say otherwise based off of how you saw and interacted with me. There is such a deep community here at Life with many willing to help you reach your goals if you simply ask. I am big in creating a network of people. The great thing we have to offer is how small we are as a school, yet knit together through different culture. There are many different groups on campus. You just have to find the right ones you resonate with best. I'm fortunate to have groups in both undergrad, DC, athletics, and also with my Bible studies on campus. In those groups, you find people who you can really connect with, both in goals and passions. This has definitely played a role in helping me to find home down here for the time being. Over the course of the 4 years, I have been able to develop great relationships both on and off the wrestling mat, which will last a lifetime. With school in mind, it leads me into my next part. In both my undergrad and my DC experience, I have found professors to be awesome here. I did my exercise science degree having Gus, JP, Mrs. T, etc., who all played a pivotal role in the enrichment of my education. The professors here want to help you if you show it to them and show them that you care. I was so blessed to have professors as passionate about learning the human body as I was. Lastly comes the wrestling portion of my college experience. It hadn't gone the way I was expecting, but that is where I had to trust in God's ultimate plan for me. A Bible verse from Isaiah 55, 8-9 says, "For just as the heavens are higher than the earth, so my ways are higher than your ways, and my thoughts are higher than your thoughts." Despite my earthly-minded thinking, I knew that God had a plan for me. Each year of wrestling, my mindset changed, getting more and more focused as I started to crack the lineup, but I was never able to make it to nationals. In the end, I was content with the fact because it was God's will, not my own. I made sure if this past year was to be my last, I would leave it with no regrets, putting everything on the line. Although my success story wasn't the same as the 12 who got to go to nationals each year, I was able to overcome something that nobody else ever did. That was learning to find balance. Faith, family, school, and wrestling. By God's grace, I managed to find balance in each and every one of those things, and I excelled at it. This previous year was by far the hardest. 6 months of 27 credits with an average of 10 to 12 hours of wrestling per week. My experience shows that anything and everything can be achieved by staying true to your why and having a strong support system. That is why I was able to overcome the seemingly impossible. My testimony shows that no matter the outcome, you can always find ways to excel in ways which others have not. My words of advice would be to do things that are hard. As my mentor says, try for selective pain. Choose to do the hard things to make yourself a more resilient person in the life ahead. One last thing to add, if you are questioning your faith or where you will end up in this life, or know of someone who questions these things, then I would love to share the gospel of Jesus Christ, which has had a great impact on my life in transforming how I go about my ways. I leave you with this Bible verse, taken from Joshua 1:9, and one of my personal favorites. "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be wherever you go." And then I just wanted to add one more thing too. I just wrote this right on the spot here, but I just wanted to thank just the training staff and also the chiropractic care which I received here the past 4 years. I would not have been able to function or feel anywhere where I was if I didn't have the kind of care that we get here. So I think that's one other thing that I think is superior compared to most other colleges. So thank you.